boys, I had a dream. No doubt yous know that there ain't nothing more special to me art than the biggest, loudest, shootiest guns that there is, right? Which is true, but the fact of the matter is that there's even bigger, shootier guns out there that no boy can get on their own. Belly guns, lifter droppers, flame belchers, death cannons, kill cannons, Deathstorm mega shooters, Killstorm giga shooters, and a legendary Apocalypse Gatler. To use them guns, you need something huge. You might even say something gargantuan. In order to use some of the biggest guns that orks got. And I've seen them, boys. I've seen the MUZIK Gargant stomping around, blasting their volcano cannons and apocalypse launchers and plasma destroyers. That's what I need. Oh yeah, I know these MUZIK Gargants, and I wanted one. I needed one. Cause it's one thing to have the biggest gun that a bull can have, but the biggest Gargant you can have to pilot, shooting the biggest stalker there is. That's the dream, lads. That's the dream. And this is how I made that dream come true. Now, I couldn't take down one of them MUZIK Gargants by myself. I knew I was gonna need some help. And despite what Uftak and Glitzdakka may say, the best way to crump a Gargant is with another Gargant. But these MUZIK Titans, these Warlords, they's the biggest that the MUZIK's got. So I knew I was gonna need lots and lots of knots and big stops. And there was only one mech Gargant that I could turn to get that job done. Mech Boss Gear Guts. So after dumping a few truckfuls of teeth at Mech Boss Gear Guts' feet, they's got me 2 of their mech babies, Gork Cutter and Fat Gork, and 3 of their best knots to help me bring down these MUZIK Titans to go with the stopper that I already got sitting around. Backed up with a few mech guns for darker support. Now, I was able to pay off a few commandos to give me some information on where the next giant Titan tin ball was supposed to show up. And they said that they saw one by themselves trying to get back to the MUZIK base. So, the boys and I got in our clankers and we waited for that MUZIK Titan to show up. And when it did, you ought to see it, boys. Massive, stomping, smashing, shooting. As soon as we saw that thing, we charged it, guns blazing as hard as we could. But you know, sometimes Gork and Mork got to have a laugh at a boy's expense. And this time around, they was laughing at me. Death cannons from the stomper and the mech babies rang out hard and loud, but despite being the biggest cannons we could get our hands on, it couldn't stop that Zonkin bubble shield that the MUZIK Titan had. Shot after shot went out, but nothing got through that Zonkin bubble field. But our Titan 10 boys got a lot more than just cannons. When the big shooters and super shooters got to shooting, I don't know why, but they's got through that Zonkin bubble field and was starting to smash up the MUZIK Gargant good. Just goes to show that harder hitting Dakka ain't better than just more Dakka. That being said though, the MUZIK Titan had no trouble at all with their big cannons. It swung that big volcano cannon around and in one shot blasted Fat Gork in the bits. And those Apocalypse rocket launchers on its shoulder and that Claw Mountain Psycho Gatling blaster thing made quick work of the mech gun sitting in the back line, and that insult to injury, the MUZIK Titan swung around and blasted the big mech that was watching the mech guns. But did that scare me? No. See, it just made me need to loot that stupid MUZIK Titan even more. But riding in Gork Cutter, I knew that we was in trouble, so I told the boys to double time it. All the knots ran up, blasting their Deathstorm mega shoots at that Titan, and believe it or not, smashed it up even better than expected. Again, I don't know what it is, the cannons don't do anything, but the shooters do everything. But again, I don't know Zonkin well how, but the kill cannons just couldn't do a Zonkin thing. Just how? Despite the super shooters and big shooters making it in, I knew this wasn't working. We just couldn't do enough Dakka damage to that stupid MUZIK Titan. So, over the speakers, the boys and I gave the biggest roar that you could imagine, and we saw get charged in. As we charged, I let loose with Gork's custom death cannon, double rocket cannons, and souped up super shooter, and I was finally starting to see more damage from our Docker to this big git. But it wasn't gonna be enough. We needed more than that. Somehow, I got in front of the rest of the mob, charging in knowing that it was either gonna be me or this Yumi Titan that was gonna be laying on the ground in a heap of scrap. That Zorgan thing, it was easily twice the size of Godcutter. But if the Prophet Gay School was able to crump a war boss when they was just a knob, with their bare fist no less, I knew I could crump this tin-boy Titan just as good. Finally, seeing its bubble shield drop after a salvo attacker from Godcutter, I ran in, smashing every barrel that I had directly into that big robot gate, and fired everything I had into it. And that big Yumi Titan gate was finally scrapped. Or at least I would have said the days were scrapped if that big hit hadn't exploded. I guess Godcutter's custom death cannon found its way into that thing's nuclear power matrix, setting off a cataclysmic detonation bigger than anything that I've ever seen before. And as soon as I could finally see again after that white horde explosion, everything around me was smashed. The stomper that was right beside me was nothing more than a standing cone of scrap, and the other knob beside me was barely held together. But we did it! We did it! With Mech Boss Gargant's best stompy mechs, we brought down the biggest, smashiest tin boy that the Yumis had. And after getting on the talkie box, we told Gargant that we was ready to get lootin'. That massive claw with the Psycho Gatling Blaster, the devastating beamy volcano cannon, and all that talking that was built in this Zorgan thing. Oh yes, boys, this was gonna be a thing of beauty. And after many, and lots of weeks later, I was as proud to unveil finally to you gits, the great flash of Gork itself, the Glitzdakka Giga Gork. Just look at this! Look at this thing and tell me it ain't the most beautiful thing you ever did see. Mech Boss Gargant absolutely outdid themselves, the big great git. Oh, but why just show you this thing when I could tell you all it can do? Now, similar to the Yumi Titan, the Giga Gork's got 10 inches of movement, tough 18, a 2-up save, a whopping 100 wounds, a leadership of 6, and objective control of 30. I mean, this is a big git after all. And if somehow this gets able to get blown up, well, let's just say nothing else is gonna survive around it if it do blow up. Alright, so, for abilities, we got the big bad bubble field. You know that fucking annoying bubble field that I couldn't get through with the kill cannons? Looting that Zorgan thing wasn't easy, but there ain't nothing Mech Boss Gargant can't get working. So, the Giga Gork's got a 5-up invulnerable save against any talker being thrown at it, as well as being the very avatar of Gork, giving all the orks within 24 inches leadership 6 instead of mostly 7. But if the Giga Gork gets crumped, then all the orks in the fight gets -1 to their leadership. Considering the Giga Gork is the biggest thing ever, it takes 4 times as many command points to do any sort of stratagems. And finally, yous can have 3 and many boys inside of this thing, ready to jump out with some crumping of their own if any gits get close. But let's move past the board stuff, cause it's the weapons that's where it's at. First of all, the Giga Gork. Not possibly more, it's Gork. Fight me. We got 2 profiles here, a glare and a squid. And the glare is good if you got lots of gits to crumple with the many shots that you got, and the sustain hits, and the blast quality. But the squint is for all the big stuff, wagons and tanks and stompers and such, because of that higher strength, AP, and damage. So with some of the most flexible talker you can have, why not put it in your box? Next up we got the Rocket Stormer. It's simple enough, right? Basically a souped up version of an orky rocket launcher. Just, more of it. And twin links so you can wound a bit better. Then we got one of my favorite talker for the Giga Gork. Instead of them smooth, boring rocket launchers that the Yumi Titans got, Mech Boss Gargant replaced it with some super big, super killing cannons they're all affectionately referred to as the Big Back Ballista. And 2 of them too, with 20 shots each at an insane range of 200 inches with rapid fire, indirect, and blast. There ain't a single git in boots that's gonna get away from the hail of unstoppable cannon fire. And speaking of cannon fire, Giga was able to add a little surprise to that looted Titan claw. A built-in Giga Gork fist great cannon. Nothing too crazy as skill cannons goes, but it's got good punch and good wounding ability. But that ain't the only target that the Giga Gork fist got. It's also got the ravaging rattler cannon strapped on top of it. If the Big Back Ballista missed some gits on the ground, this here fast-spitting talker's easily gonna mop up what's left over. And if all that fails, there is some twin big shooters tucked under the torso of the Giga Gork. But now we comes to the big one. The Giga Boom Kill Custom Cannon! Built from the Yumi Titan's Volcano Cannon, MechBoss Gargant made it bigger, badder, and bulkier than ever. 120-inch range, 3d6 shots, strength 32, AP 5, and 20 soaking damage. Oh yeah. Also think we just gonna have any more problems fighting the Yumi Titans. And of course, orks is being orks, we got some right punchy close-up weapons. With the star of the show being the aforementioned Giga Gork fist, hitting hard enough to bring down Stompers and Knots all by itself, or taking a big swing and bring down everything from tanks to boys. And if that don't do it, well then it's time for the big old foot of Gork. Ah boys, I can't wait to take the Giga Gork out to a proper scrap. So, if enemy crowds is watching and wants a big bombastic Titanic scrap, you gets nowhere to find me. And if you gets wants a big stompy mech like the Giga Gork for yourself, then you needs to pop over to MechBoss Gargant's mech shop and have a nice look around. If you use me link in the description and to code GimGam, you can get 10% of TAFE off your order. In fact, Gargant has got this big special going on right now with even a bigger discount. But if you wants to buy from them, you better hurry up because that sale ain't gonna last past this month. So, thank you again, MechBoss Gargant. Thank you for helping this kid make their dreams come true. And thanks to all the boys, bosses and knobs and other channel members who's just constantly throwing their teeth at us to help us make even more, bigger, proper orky videos. One of these days, I'll take y'all on a Krumped spree to Giga Gork. Oh, and speaking of big stompy tin boys with an adequate amount of Dakka, I think next time, I think I got some proper idea for another Is It Orky. I think you kids is gonna appreciate it. So, if you don't want to miss out on that, you kids, sub up and song off!